We're 184 days away from football. Wimp is so good during football season. If you missed last year when we started this, the blue plate was so hot during football season. He was fantastic. But he is a basketball guru. He's a genius at basketball. So from this point through the end of March Madness, this is must-hear radio with Wimp, even more than it is year-round, because he's going to get you ready to win our bracket challenge.
Damn, man, you got a hype man, Wimp.
Sorry, Coach.
Boy, I ain't never heard anything like this in my whole life. What brought this on?
Did Jim move in? Did you get evicted and move in with Coach?
You ain't kidding. Jim's the best.
Well,
Boy, he's number one now.
I'm just saying, man, if you don't respect Wimp Sanderson's sports mind in general, but specifically this time of year, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Okay, for a novice, can I sum up last night's game, Wimp, and then you take it to the professional level, the expert level?
Can.
Alabama played terrible in the first half. Vanderbilt played even worse in the second half, and the officials were way too involved.
Probably part of that's correct. I think the two big things, I don't think Alabama's playing very well, and I'm not trying to coach their team. They're just not playing very well, and they're turning it over. Vanderbilt makes poor passes. They turned it over 16 times. Alabama 18. For some reason, Alabama just loses control of the basketball. They don't handle it very well, and so they struggle there a great deal. I think the biggest thing, and you're not going to agree to this at all, is that Ellis did a good job on what's his name, the little man, gone blank.
Pippen.
For Georgia. Huh?
Pippen.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen's kid.
Anyway, he did a good job. Pippen is not very tough. Pippen is the kind of guy that if you get to him and smother him, that he's going to pass it and he's going to dribble drive and he's going to make mistakes. Now, he made some points. He made 14 free throws and 5 field goals. But Pippen is not what you think he is compared to the other guards in the league.
No, I get it. He looks like a soccer player. He's on his back a lot.
Okay, well, I'm glad you agree with something I said.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he's a flopper. He is a flopper.
Ellis got after him pretty good, and that was the difference in the game, I thought. I thought the officials were. I had a deal that last game where they knocked Pippen down. According to my other people, they say he faked it. I don't know if he did or not. If he did a good job because I was watching on.
Yeah, you're talking about the one to the head where it looked like he grazed his eye. My only thing was, how can you know that you're going to get that call? It's just too risky.
Yeah, you're right. So I thought the defense on him, and Quinterly is terrific. He gets, I think, 19 points in 27 minutes, and is a really good shooter. There's some people now saying, in fact, my son's one of them, well, plays much better coming off the bench. I don't, whatever. The better the player, let me say this too: the better the players were, the longer I played them.
That's right.
That was my rule. If you're good, and if you're tired, we'll call a double timeout and rest them all. We're gonna play the best players. I can tell you right now that Arkansas, if they don't take JD or DJ or whatever his name is, Noto,
JD,
out of the game the first 20 minutes against Alabama, they probably win the game. You can't set out the best scorer in the league 20 minutes, a whole half, and win the game. I don't care. You either got to go to zone or protect him some way, but you can't do. And I've guys he knows more basketball I'll ever know, I guess. But his daddy was a great coach.
Yeah.
And,
but for those that forget,
by the way, I told you this when I played his daddy said, let's just wave at each other.
For those that forget, Nada got 2
I
fouls in the first couple of minutes of that game, and Musselman set him the entire rest of the half, and he ended up barely getting 10 points. Yeah,
I don't understand. He wasn't ready to play, but anyway, his daddy would just wave at me. I'd wave at him. So.
Yeah.
The coach, Wimp Sanderson, joins us each week courtesy of the RentalWorks division of CraneWorks. He'll tell you more about them in a moment. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Nate Oates, we played the audio yesterday, he said, I don't care if we don't have any guards out there. I don't care if we have any centers out there. We're going to play the 5 people that want to play defense. When you watch the game versus the defensive performance Alabama was coming off of, at Kentucky, did you see a change in their defense?
I thought they played harder, especially I thought they knew what they wanted to do. I thought they wanted to keep the ball off Pippen and make it miserable for him. Anytime you have a little short guy like that fairly short, if you can put a long-armed guy on him that can really reach, it really affects his shot, and I think it did. So I think they played harder defensively. I just think that probably the best way to do it, okay, I'll say it, is maybe just tell them individually rather than tell. I don't know that it's real good to say that your team's not playing hard to the public.
And he said that a couple of times this year. Yeah,
that's just hey y'all. That's just me. So I'm not cutting up Nate Oates. He's a great coach, but for me, I don't want to. You know, if a guy's not playing hard, I'm gonna tell him in the dressing room and coach him and try to get him to play harder without making it public. Now, that's just me.
Yeah, I would echo your thoughts by saying, to me, one of the things in coaching is getting the players to play hard. That's one of the things in your
you can
That's
the
one
key
of the
to winning. The key to winning games is to get better players than your opponent and get them to play hard.
Yeah,
that's key.
Yeah, getting them to play hard is huge. Wimp Sanderson's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Keon Ellis made a lot of shots at Rupp Arena, and it seems to have rejuvenated him. He was playing so good at the end of last year, and he played another good game again last night. Making shots can sort of change your personality, the way you walk, a little bit of swagger.
Yep.
Tell me how different the people covering Keon has been this year. Has he become more like, if I'm game planning Alabama with the players they lost, Keon sort of wasn't my main focus last year, I would assume, but now he's sort of more of a focus. He's had to sort of fight through better defenders this year, in my opinion. Does that take time getting used to if you're Keon Ellis, that you got better defenders on you?
Sure. And I really thought Kentucky crowded him, Jim. I mean, I thought they got in his cotton-picking face, and he still made them. I mean, they were all over. In fact, he made one right in front of Cal's bench, and Cal jumped on everybody on the bench, and the guy that was guarding him too. I just think he made some unbelievable threes. Now, and Alabama's not a bad free throw shooting team, much better than some of the teams in the past years. I can tell you that. But this kid right here stepped to the line. He ain't gonna miss one. He didn't miss one last night. But he's very good at that, and he's a very long-armed, good defensive player who can make some guards a little bit miserable, I think, more so than people think. People try to match up their teams, their players against other teams' players, and you match them. There's so much switching in defense now that once the screens are set, you don't really have the original guy, if that makes sense. You're switched to somebody else.
Early in the season, Wimp, as good as Shackelford can be, and Quinterly, we saw it last night, I said Keon Ellis, to me, had the most upside. Starting to think Bediako could be that guy, but the problem is he's averaging less than 18 minutes a game because he can't stay out of foul trouble. And, when you've got a raw 7-footer that's that athletic, you want him to be aggressive, you want him to block shots, you want him to get the boards, but how do you coach that to make sure he's able to stay in and get you quality minutes?
Well, if he's fouling because he's playing really hard around the basket, you don't coach it much. You're tickled to death that he's going to get better. But if he's making a lot of fouls with his hands, or with his arms, or with his pushing and shoving and unnecessary fouls that the official's sitting there looking right at him, then you got to get that straightened out and try to help him in practice do the best you very very can. That's a critical thing. He's very good on lob pass. Let me tell you guys something. Basketball, and this is a little bit off the subject from you, basketball, again, is a game of angles. Angles make the game of basketball. When the guy drives in for Vanderbilt last night, he couldn't decide whether he wanted to be cute or not. He couldn't decide whether he was going to dunk it or what he was going to do. He didn't use the glass, and he missed the shot. Anytime you go in, I don't even care if you're in front of the goal, we'd make our guys use the basket. Use the backboard. The backboard is your friend, not your enemy. And this guy cost an opportunity for them to go into overtime by simply being cute.
The coach, Wimp Sanderson. I like the chuckle after.
Oh, I thought it was really good.
No, it's very good. The coach, Wimp Sanderson, with us, courtesy of the RentalWorks division of CraneWorks. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What does Auburn have to do tonight against Ole Miss? They're a much better team, but Auburn is coming off another difficult road loss.
Yeah, Auburn will be okay. Kermit's team is beat up and not as good as it was last year. I've played Auburn very well in the past. I think they just need their guards to play better. I think their guards need to play better than they have played. And again, this is a radio show, and I ain't coaching nobody's cotton-picking team. But 7.9 seconds on the clock. If I'm coaching and I ain't Bruce Pearl. Okay, so people don't start that with me. It's 9. I'm trying to do the show. 9.7 on the clock. I got DJ Johnson in the game, and let me tell you why. He is reckless as he can be. He don't know nothing except take the basketball and go to the goal. And when he does, he makes the official make a call. The official has to make a call. He may miss a shot, but there's a chance the official's going to make the call. He's the guy to take the ball to the basket with 7.9 seconds on the clock, in my opinion. Now, Green is a good shooter. Shot one from downtown against Alabama and made it. Shot one from downtown against Arkansas and missed it. But I just think, would you get the ball to Smith? Sure, if you can. If not, you figure they're overplaying Smith where he can't catch it. But DJ Johnson's got to take that ball to the hole, in my opinion.
KD Johnson to the hole, and then if he misses, you got Kessler there, or maybe Jabari there to put it back, and that's a great point there. Before we get out of here, we are we saw not Wimp, you're Wimp. We saw Nick Saban video leak out from a speech he gave to the coaches back, high school coaches back in January. We talked about some players not being ready. Cal used it before the Alabama game when he was going to have some bench players come in there. When you see something like that from Nick Saban about those other guys maybe not being ready, worried about their playing time all year long, he has to deal with a lot more players than you. But how do you address that as a coach through a long season when you see some players checking out that before the year's over you may need to call on those guys? Is that something?
If they're not ready to play, you got to express to them in practice that the reason you're not playing any more than you're playing, and the reason you're not ready to play is this way you're practicing right here. Now that's between you and the team, and I mean you and this kid and the other teams listening to it. But there are kids that will, if they're averaging 18 points a game and they get 10, they pout. And that's the reason for the problem of this transfer rule deal. It's transferred, which y'all don't agree with me, but it's just transfer, because what we're doing today now is we're going to the transfer portal, not going and watching high school kids. Now, we're going to watch the top 30, but they're going to go to they're going to run a transfer portal. Point guard for Auburn transfer, Jabari Kessler transfer, DJ John transfer. So that's what you go and you look at, and that's how you're building your team. So, but sometimes you just can't. It's harder to get other kids ready to play than it. I have always felt, I shouldn't say this either because it's against me. I've always felt, for whatever reason, one of the great teams I ever had got into the NCAA tournament, and they were listening to music with their ear stuff, which I never have said into them much about it. And we were playing a team that's very good, a coach and NCAA big deal, and we had a heck of a team. We didn't play. Now, I made some mistakes there. I didn't do a good job of doing what I needed to do. But I didn't know it. I thought I can't tell them to pull those out of the ears right now. We're having a great year. So it's a hard question you give me, and I don't have a very good answer. You just got to. I just think
everyone's going to want to know that game. Was that the South Alabama game?
No. It was when we got beat by Rick Pitino.
Oh, the Providence game. That was a good team. Yeah.
And I don't. But it's just had something else going on. But it's just important that you get them all on the same page. And the thing I hear people say, well, I listened to a guy the other day. Well, we get our guys. He was a football guy. And they're playing tennis. It's up and down in basketball. You don't see anybody. Last time I can remember anybody winning them all was when Bobby and them beat us night. But it's just hard. It's hard to win every cotton picking game. And it's hard to get these guys to where they want to play all the time. You'll watch guys who will play. I'll tell you what you do. You watch a guy make a three or make a cute shot at the other end sometime, Jim, and check him out when he goes to the defensive end. He's the best you've ever seen. He is really good that trip because he just did something favorable.
All right, he is the coach, Wimp Sanderson. He joins us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline each week, courtesy of the RentalWorks division of CraneWorks, Coach.
Well, CraneWorks, David's a great person. They have great, certainly CraneWorks has at-home project coming up or a corporate construction job coming up. You need to check out RentalWorks, which is certainly a division of CraneWorks. They have everything from landscaping equipment to excavators and whatever you need, a full fleet of anything that you need. CraneWorks has it. So check out with David, and I'll see you, Ryan, next Tuesday.
That is correct. You and I are getting together.
1:30. But Ryan.
Yes, sir, Coach.
Remind me.
I'll do my very best to remind you. Absolutely. I'll need the reminder myself. I'll set it in my phone. All right, Coach.
Good job, man.
All right,
Thanks.
Jim loves you.
Good, boy. Jim likes me. Hey, Jim, I like you too.
It's your hype man.
Yeah, it's your hype guy.
Yeah, everybody, that's Wimp Sanderson.
Thank you. It just hung up. I ain't going to do better
Hey,
than
I
that.
got to bring this up.
Coach is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.